All right, here is the speed run of BoEiNg bin 747s, also known as Air bin. Um, so we're going to start out here with a little bit of an XLOOKUP, right? Just to, well, first, why don't we go ahead and get rid of the merges? Get rid of these ugly subtotals too, because I know I'm not going to need subtotals. So, boom, bye-bye subtotals. In fact, get rid of the totals. I don't even care about the totals. That's all I care about. All right. So now let's look up this on here, returning here. X lookup. Got a little extra thing there. C to C. No. Here we'll use our label lookup lambda. So just based on this, the rows are here and the columns are here. This is fine, although I got to handle the dash means 0, and this one, 1965, is before it's missing, so it's also 0. 3, gonna do XLOOKUP. Oh, wait, there's something I got to do to this also, because these are in two different cells here, so just gonna combine this, so equals this and this. Um, Now I can XLOOKUP the model number on all the model numbers, right? Returning all of the orders, how much each airline ordered, like that. And then the answer here is the airline names, right? So I need the airline names. So the one that ordered the maximum is that much, right? And then filter this based on this equals here, right? So if the rows of this equals 1, that means there's only one, in which case the answer is this and a semicolon and the number. Otherwise, the answer is multiple semicolon and the number. All right, that all worked, right? Yeah. Um, Here we got to look at the dates, right? So I've got, this is luckily, cleaned up already. Uh, so this is, all the dates, and this is this one, right? The one I'm looking at in this question is look up this on here, returning here. And then the overlap, right, is the minimum of the end of them, right? So the minimum of the ends, or no, the minimum of the starts of the bigger number, the minimum of the bigger number, and the minus the maximum of the smaller number, plus 1 is how you do overlap, I think. See if that works. And then this with these got to be locked. The O and the P have got to be, the O and the N have got to be locked. Or the Q and the O have got to be locked like that. And count if this is greater than 0. Should be good. All right, still looking good. Now we got to deal with these classes, right? So text split, the row delimiter is that, and then the column delimiter is that, like this. Or no, it's dash, right? Yeah, now I've got this, so I need to take the middle column here and then, map onto that. Lambda x string to array x. To x. Lambda x string to array x. Why did that not work? All right, choose columns to, what if I just do string to array like that? Oh no, because this is within each array, I want to sum them up, right? So the string to array x times 1, sum them up, right? That'll do my 6 plus 6, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, right? So now choose columns of this 3, right? The number of rows times number of seat per rows is that, and then the sum of that. Could have used some product for that. Instead, I did sum and product. All right, and then for this one, I've got this thing here, this whole field of numbers, right? That I'm going to call my board, my game board. And then I need to know the addresses of this, right? So it's B6 to V100, right? So B6 to V100. So I want my numeric addresses of this range, right? So this is, row times a million plus column. All is a big column there. So then based on each of these, now I'm going to map to this lambda x expand range, right, is my lambda for this. So starting with x, right, I'm going to expand it a certain number down, which is that minus 1, and a certain number right, which is that minus 1, not up, not down, right? That should give me all the arrays of 2 by 7 starting here, right? So then now the sum of address to contents of this on the board, and sometimes this will be an error. So if it's an error, give me 0, right? I guess I could have mapped that, but it's always the same size, so I don't need to map it. All right, so that, and then it's the max of that, right? This should just take a second, which it does. All right, so now I need to filter this, but in a little bit of a funky way, right? So text split that by, we use commas delimiter this time. Commenter is, I want to put them into rows like that. Same thing with the model numbers, but the model numbers also, why do they got these annoying apostrophes in them that have got to go? So apostrophes are replaced with nothing. Now I'm going to filter. I've got automatic ways to filter with and, but not so much. This is like a or filter, so instead I'm going to do it with a the little thing here, right? So exists on this is the airlines, right? So exists on the airlines, the airline names, not total. Don't care about the total, right? And there's the ones that exist. Except for it's got to be A to A, not A to B. Good. They'll still have the same 2. And then for the model number exists on the model numbers, and it is the model numbers here, right? And yeah, there's a couple of those, right? So now what, to and them, I'll just do the max of this and this, where what, the 5 is locked and the A is locked. Could do that as a map, but yeah, why bother? All right, so now this is just sum product, right? So now the sum product of my filters and the board is the totals right there, right? Should be ready for bonuses if everything's right, which it is. In the Wikipedia article, we see that the new record is 1087 and the old record is 674, so they beat it by 413. The earliest of the first and the latest of the last. So the latest of the last minus the earliest of the first. This is the same thing we did before, right? Plus 1 is it's that, right? So it's the maximum minus the minimum plus 1 is the number of dates. Is that not right? 14,578? No. Minimum of D3 to D20. D25, not D20. 25, 25. There we go. All right. So of the customers who love the 400, how many others did they get, right? So if the maximum of this equals this, then you're someone who counts, right? So now it's the sum of this minus this, otherwise 0, right? So sum these up, not including the total, and it's 415. So click down there at the bottom and then paste. All right, so for each of the combinations of 1 to 10, what is the largest thing here, right? So I've got cycles 10 by 10 is those cases, right? And then if I number them, right? So this is the case, rows and columns. So the case, we'll start with number 1 and do a data table. So look up the case number on here, returning on both of these. So that's the answer there. I just need all the cases here. And the column input cell is this. This is not the most efficient solution in the world because for every one, it's checking every single one. So it's going to take a little bit of a second, but it worked last time, right? And then I need the average of these. It's still calculating though. It's only through 36. We haven't even done the hard bonus yet, right? The hard bonus, we got to remove characters and scramble them. There we go. 116.31 is the answer to this one. And I got to delete that data table because it's a big ugly data table that will cause me problems. All right, so manipulated list is there. The original list is what? 2 row of these. This took me, I spent a million years on this during the thing, but it's not hard if you know the trick. All right, so uppercase, only letters, right? I don't want spaces. Same thing with this, right? Equals upper, only letters of this. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take scan, right? So I'm going to start with Aer Lingus here. And then the array is string to array of the smaller one, right? Santa in this case. So every letter of that. So lambda A X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace, I'm going to get rid of the old text is A, right? And then the start number is scan A for X, 1 character, replace it with nothing, right? So scan AX, not scan, search AX. All right. Search in find text X within text A. There you go. All right. So Aer Lingus, first it searches for S and gets rid of it. Then it searches for an A and gets rid of it. Then it searches for an N and gets rid of it. Then it searches for a T, and there is no T here, so it gives an error. All right, which is what I want. And then if this worked, we would end up with exactly one letter left. So if it's an error or if it's more than one letter, it's not what we want. But if it's exactly one letter, right? So if error, if the length of A equals 1, then A. Otherwise, nothing. And if it's an error, also nothing. Right? So now this shouldn't be an array though. If the length of A equals 1, then A. Right, because I just want the end, which is reduced, not scan. Right, I don't care about, I just use scan to debug it. All right, so fill these in here. And then if I concatenate, hopefully this worked. No, did not work. All right, so let me go to the one that is supposed to work. All right, which is Quantas. What is A if I show all of it? Right? Oh, because I'm not pointing to the right things. All right, so this has to be locked, and this has to be locked, right? That way it'll actually work on the headers. Yeah, there it is. All right, so then just concatenate all this, and always spell concat wrong. Concat, and we get Queen Forever, the Queen of the Skies, Boeing 747. May she forever reign. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.